Deidre Hall's baby is a man who's been dispensing good advice to parents for almost 50 years. He's the author of over a dozen books, including the bestseller, Feed Your Kids Right. Please welcome, Dr. Lyndon Smith. Hi, how are you doing?
Congratulations.
She's got an older, she's got the baby at home, her husband, of course.
Yeah.
And then she has her older son, who now has to deal with a new one competing for attention.
Do you
notice any stress with that, Deidre, at home?
Besides the stroller going down the stairs, you mean? Let me think back now.
Stomping on the kid.
No.
No.
But I read an article that said they should never be alone in the room together.
Probably a good idea
yeah,
until they get
extreme,
more equal size when they get a little bit older. But it does happen. I've learned more from my wife and our family. We had 5 wonderful, normal children. You don't know them, so I can say that. More than I did in medical school. And when we kept bringing them home, because we got free OB care, why, each time we brought a new one home, the older ones would regress. They'd have to lie on the floor and cry and have a bottle and, just be a baby, wet their pants and do all that stuff, smear things on the wall. Ooh, that was tough. And then they sort of got it out of the system. So if you don't let them regress a little bit, why, then it can, back up. So it's better
I had to treat my my now 5-year-old when she was 2 and a half when I brought my son home, and every night she wanted her baby time, so I would put a diaper on her and I would give her the bottle and wrap her up and cuddle her, and then she got her 10 minutes a night or whatever, and it was okay.
Yeah, right.
She was not that high on this new one coming in, though. Sounds like your situation's going okay.
My son wanted to diaper the nanny. If you could see his nanny, you'd think he wasn't altogether crazy. Yeah.
Wonder who got that idea from?
I don't know, Wayne. Gee.
Now, see, Lonnie, you've got a 20-year spread between your two, so it was like having an only child with your Deidre.
And even though my Deidre said to me, Mother, I'm very jealous. I've always been your only child. This is hard for me to accept. So she was old enough to articulate that. And now with my grandchild, I noticed that my son at first was naughty and tried to act like a baby. Yeah. And then he discovered that he gets wonderful positive attention by being nurturing. So now he's the benevolent and wonderful Uncle Quentin who takes care of Mackenzie, and then everyone says, oh, Quentin, you're so wonderful. And he says, yes, I know,
And that's important. If we can reward children for positive behavior instead of just stomping or screaming at them for negative behavior. But there's an important thing, too, about when you if the mother has a baby at the hospital, they come home, and if the mother's standing there with this baby and the little kid, Mommy, 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 there's don't touch, and the kid, boy, I'll get even with this one. So it's better to have somebody else bring the child in and the mother make a big fuss over the 2, 5, 6, 10, 23-year-old, and then say, oh, by the way, do you want to see your new brother, sister? Well, yeah, it's just, it's just a kid, sort of.
Almost as an aside.
Yeah, sort of an aside. But then they learn to get along with each other. But you do have to watch them. That's a good point about not having them both in the same.
I think gifts help, too. We had Grady, the newborn, give the older one a gift. And it was a special thing that he remembered that my baby brought home for me, and that helped a lot, I think. Lasted about an hour, but it was good for that hour.
And when relatives come over, they should bring something for the other siblings as well as the baby.
I'm glad you included that, because even if it's just a card or a little something they wrapped up that's, a special rock, anything, just to remember that older kid.
But not a kiss from fat, bad-mouthed auntie,
No.
That's not enough.
More of your questions after this. Thank you, sir. Tell me they were going to do that. Those are my two, Lexi and Troy, right there. Go ahead, your question.
Hi, Lonnie, I'd like to ask you a question. Have you discussed with Quentin his adoption?
Yes,
you have.
Yes, I have. We've talked about what it is to be adopted, and he's just starting to really understand it. He's always understood the word, but now he's understanding what it really is.
I always think it's so nice when parents telling the adopted child how special they are because they were chosen and how wanted they were. It's nice, yes. Oh, she's got her Deidre Hall fan club hat on. Hardcore.
My question's for Deidre. I'm wondering if you and Steve and Robin are planning on having any more children.
No.
No?
Robin and I could, but I don't think Steve's up for it.
Yes, sir.
Hi, actually, my question is for any of you, being that you're in limelight all the time, do you find it a lot more difficult to try to bring up your kids normally, or?
You just kind of go along with it. You don't deny it. It's just, Hank wants to know when Lynn goes off how many scenes she has because he wants his mom home. And so it's a normal sort of thing, and I don't think they really realize. I mean, they see you on TV and they kind of laugh because you're on TV and then you're sitting there with them. But
it makes them a little more outgoing, which I think is a positive thing, because people come up and talk to me. And he thinks he should talk to everybody back. So it's wonderful. He'll chat to anybody that comes up, which, if I'm there, is great. So it makes them a little more special with other people, which I like.
They make as big a deal of it, Lonnie, as I guess as you will allow to be made, huh?
That is exactly right. And I think it's better to well, Quentin feels like everybody's on TV. Because of our friends. Yeah, everybody is, you know, so everybody's mom is on. And he's just getting to understand that maybe not everybody is on TV.
What else is there to do?
Yeah.
More of your questions right after this. Don't go away. Deidre, if you can handle it, we've got more questions.
I'm a full-time mom myself, and my son's only 3 months old. How do you handle being away from your children while you're on the set? Is it hard? Are they there with you ever?
The baby can come with me. My son is 2.5, and he's a little bored being on the set. I don't handle it any better than anybody else does. It misses them terribly. My heart is at home, and I get back as quickly as I can.
But, Lonnie, you've had Quentin around a lot when you're working, too.
A lot while I was working. I've been more with Quentin than I was with my daughter because I went to college when I had her, and it was much more difficult. So I've had a much easier time, and spending more time with him, it's been easier than
You know, Lynn, I think people in this business have a luxury because families are supported and you are able to have them around and bring them out for kisses. And
I was able to breastfeed for 8 months, both my children, which for a working mom is rare, but I had my own space, and I think it's so important. We're very fortunate.
Boy, and if there are employers out there listening, make those accommodations. You'll get paid back tenfold if you let us nurture our kids.
My question is for all three of them. How do they stay so beautiful and thin, whether as busy as they are?
How do you stay so beautiful and thin as busy as you are?
That's why.
How is this a bin? Yeah.
He was meant for Wayne.
it's only skin deep.
Yes, we know. We know that, yes.
I'll just say this. I've never seen any of them eat, ever. We'll be right back.